Hello, beautiful souls. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. And normally I do light language transmissions, but I have been wanting to kind of share a little bit more about myself and the reason why I have taken the path that I have and any experiences that I have had along the way. So this is a very old journal that I used to just write my experiences on meditations that I would go through. A lot of astral traveling and astral projection, spirit walking, and that kind of stuff. So I randomly chose a page and I wanted to just share. Um, yeah, just share with you my experience on that day. Sometimes I used to not write dates, so sometimes I don't have dates. Fortunately, this page does have a date, and this was November 18th of last year. I actually did a fairy meditation. We were supposed to connect with like our fairy family and connect with the inner earth entities that are out there. And I just basically just wrote about my experience. So yeah, let's get to it. So before the meditation, we actually I asked my guides for a few specific things that I was looking forward going into this meditation. So I had a specific intent for it. One of the questions, or I'm just going to read up all the questions. It was, what is my family path in the shadow realm? Um, that is something that I still need to talk to you guys about because I do walk both realms, the light realm and the shadow realm, as I am what people normally call a Goetic lantern healer. It basically means that I am a individual that can heal both shadows and light beings. And I tend to walk the middle ground, meaning a very neutral, balanced, um, in the middle type of path, non judgmental type of path. So I'm sure I can make another video about that, but let's just get to these questions. So, um, what is our family path in the shadow realm? How do I better contact my shadow family? What things should I be doing to protect myself during my shadow healings? And I was seeing a lot of alchemy symbols in my meditation, so I had more questions about that. I was so seeing a lot of crystals or dreaming about crystals, so I wanted more information on that. And I wanted to know if using the pendulum as a tool could assist me with connecting with my guides better. Yeah, so let's get to it. I went to the shadow realm and I drank from the shadow water. Just like my previous meditation, I was able to go into the hall of light. There were two family members waiting for me. They presented themselves as Hecate and Hades. Hades called himself the Duke. He was my brother, he said. He told me that I needed to use the Red King symbol. I have no idea what that is. And I will be using other symbols later on. He will show me through my dreams. He says that our family is a galactic being family from the stars, from the universe. We are everywhere. I see a black panther showing up. It seems like it's my spirit animal, my protector. My brother tells me that I will be using tools and crystals, and all of that will come through my dreams. All of a sudden, I see many guides show up, a lot of beings. The hollow light is full. I can't really tell who they are, as I can only see blur images of them, but I know there's many. My shadow family is with the gods, he says. We have gone by many names, and you have been a Hindu goddess yourself. Don't know what that really means, but I'm sure I will find out. I end up having more guides show up. My Black Panther, there was a bear, and an elk, a fox, a Komodo dragon, a dragonfly, my hummingbird, and an owl. I was able to see the spirit elements of fire, of water, wind, and earth, but as well as ice. Ice was present, 5 elements, all present in the Hall of Light. You are a seer because you can sense energy, they tell me. Really don't know what that means. Then I woke up from my meditation. My meditations are pretty gnarly. Very weird, by the way. Now, I know I've been able to decipher a lot of this stuff now. So everything makes sense now. But at the time, I really had no idea about my shadow family and who they were. It took me countless meditations to talk back to my shadow family and figure out exactly what that meant and who they were. And I was able to find out more about it because I always had that question of who I was. As a star seed, I always wanted to know, where do I come from? Who are we? Um, that question was answered and it became very complex as many of us have had countless incarnations. So technically, we are not just of one race, we are of many. We're fragmentalized souls of a bigger soul. So we can tap into different incarnations. Hence why we feel drawn to many different races and not just one. But at the time, I felt like as a star seed, I had to belong to one specific thing. And that's not the case. During this very meditation class, we actually had a second meditation that we did. And this is what I wrote about that second meditation. I saw Hecate in many versions of us. We were all together, but she was in the throne. Her throne was in a floating rock, and around was the universe. I had gone to with the intention of asking questions and learning more about us. Why was I Hecate? How was that possible? Was I her incarnation? I don't understand. However, once I got to her, the only thing that I could do was thank her. I wanted to thank her for deciding to be me, for her to decide to have an experience my life. For wanting to desire more of herself, to experience it all and experience none. I then turned around and flew away. This was the first time I ever saw my wings. My wings are of rainbowish color, scaly like a snake, but feathery as well too. Then I came back into my body, and I woke up. Ooh, it seems like there's a little bit more. As I came back, I was still in my body, and I noticed there was a gemstone in my forehead. It seems that I attained it from the shadow realm. I went back to the Hall of Light, and some of my guides were not blurry anymore. I was able to see them finally. It seemed like they were a fae family, a dark fae, my family members, with wings and horns, some with, some without. All had gemstones in their foreheads of different colors: black, red, green, violet, blue. All of them had staffs just like the one I carry, and some of them had crystals in them. Some will help me with protection. Some will help me with healing. Some will help me with shadow work. Through my dreams. It's through my dreams that they help me. Do the moon shadow exercise. See your shadow in the moonlight. Then I actually woke up. Whew, I got goosebumps. Yeah, so I guess that was it right there. um, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys have any questions about it, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Um, what is the shadow realm? I think I would probably make another video on that one, but in short, it is a realm where I see lower density beings, and not necessarily malevolent, because they do hold light in them. But lower density would be more that they're more like in the in between of everything. Yeah, it's the best way that I can describe it. And some of them hold more light than any other being that I have ever met. So it's a spectrum of many different conscious beings. Um, but they are in the shadow, or I call them shadow because they are more heavy on the left side, meaning they are more heavy masculine energies than feminine energies, like the angels would. Um, so that is a terminology that when I started my journey, that is a terminology that they presented to me. That's what they call themselves to me. So that's what I call them. Um, and terminologies can get very tricky too, guys. A lot of spiritual people and in the community, we might have different descriptions and different terminologies for things. Even though we're trying to explain the similar things, we just call them different things. So all I can do is basically share my perspective, my way of calling things. And I'm not big on titles, but I know that it is important to somehow put things into context. So you have to give things titles from a human perspective. Most guides don't like titles at all. They feel that creating titles can come from the ego, especially titles within the spiritual community. So there is such a thing as a spiritual ego, thinking that your way is best or better. Um, and sometimes not even necessarily thinking that it's best or better, but it does give you like a sense of entitlement. And I hope I'm making sense. And if I don't, then by all means ask questions, guys. To be quite frankly, I am sharing stuff that I've never really shared with anyone. So all of this didn't make sense to me in the beginning. But as I continue my journey of expansion and self awareness, and my consciousness expanded to where it is now, a lot of this stuff makes sense now. So, yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed a little bit of my crazy meditated adventures, to say the least. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.